Hello and good day. Today we will go through the journey of section 194N. Our journey will pass through why this section was introduced, to whom it is applicable and to whom it is not applicable, and what type of transactions are being covered, who must deduct the tax and when the tax has to be deducted, what is the rate of deduction and the mode of computation, ending with the question and answer section. Now, the government since inception of the Act has constantly taken the numerous measures to trace the various transactions, specifically where it fears the leakage of its revenue, starting from section 68, 69, 69A, 69B, 69C, 69D, moving forward to the various sections under chapter 10, 10A, drilling down further to the transaction level by the various provision of the TDS under chapter 17. During the last few years, further TDS provisions are made to curb certain type of behavior, specifically with regard to the cash transaction, and promote the economy more toward the modern digitalized environment whereby the transaction can be noted right from the inception as to the ending of the transaction. With this intention, a new provision was introduced in the budget of 2019, which was proposed on 5th of July 2019. That is with effect section 194N. Now this section was effective from 1st of September 2019, and this cementized the other provision of the TDS. This section has been further amended in the budget of 2020 on 27th March 20 with effect from 1st July 2020. Now let us see to whom it is applicable and on what type of transaction it is applicable. Now this section is applicable on the cash withdrawal made in aggregate of the specified limit during the financial year. Now this limit as per the budget of 2019 has been rupees 1 crore. In the amendment in the budget of 2020, under a specific situation and the circumstance, this limit has been reduced to rupees 20 lakhs. And we have to keep in mind that this limit has to be reset every year fresh. Now section 194 is applicable whenever a person makes a cash withdrawal. And when we talk of the person, it is as per the section of 231, what is coming under the person, all the persons will be covered under this particular section unless it has been carved out that they will not be covered. So the withdrawal, any person can make the cash withdrawal in the following manner. The first one, from any bank. Now this bank can be nationalized bank, public sector bank or a private sector bank. Or it can be from the cooperative society or the cooperative banks. The cooperative society, there are a number of the cooperative societies like the employee cooperative society. For example, in the Maharashtra, it is known as a Patpedi. Now whenever any person make a withdrawal, even from the Patpedi, it is considered as a withdrawal of the cash transaction. From the post office. So whenever any amount is withdrawn from the post office, that is also covered under this particular transaction. Then the bank ATM, known as a brown label ATM. Now what is the meaning of the term brown label ATM? Now whenever any bank ATM is of a specific bank, take for example State Bank of India, then that ATM of the State Bank of India is known as a brown label ATM in the commercial parts. Or it can be white label ATM. Now what is a white label ATM? Now these are the ATM not operated by any bank entity as such. For example, the Tata IndiCash. Now the Tata IndiCash has got a vehicle which you can see in the picture, which moves from various states to various states and it goes to the small villages. So whenever this particular, they make a withdrawal from here, that is also a cash withdrawal as such. However, this section is not applicable on the following type of transaction by the following person withdrawing the money. Take for example the government. So this section is not applicable to the government. Now when we talk of the government over here, we cover the central government, state government, then the various department of the government. Take for example Ministry of Defense, Ministry of the Human Resource, Ministry of the External Affairs. So when these people withdraw the money from the bank, then this is not covered under the section 194N. Accounts open specifically for the scheme introduced by the government, then it is also not covered. Or the block development officer or the district collector when they withdraw the money for the various purpose which is related with the public utility of the fund. Then next is any banking company or the cooperative society engaged in carrying on the business of the banking or the post office. That means if you easy to remember that if you remember that any transaction between the bank to bank will not be covered under 194N. Then any business correspondence. Now what is the meaning of the term business correspondence? A business correspondence means the agent or the sub-agent who work at a retail outlet level or the customer service point or the customer service provider who carry out the various activities as per the RBI Master Circular dated July 1st, 2014. And they assist the bank and the customer to get the money at their home. Take for example, number of the bank has provided the bank agent who withdraw the money on behalf of the senior citizen and transfer the money to them. So when this agent who withdraw the money to them, the 194N will not be applicable. However, to the senior citizen who is withdrawing the money through the agent, to him it will be applicable. Then any white label automated teller operator of the banking or the cooperative society, they withdraw the money to deposit the same in the ATM, then that also will not be covered over here. Or any other such person who by the government notification has been covered, they will also not be liable for section 194N deduction. Now let us look into the notification which has been given under section 194N exempting the people from this particular provision. The first notification, consider the notification date wise. So the first notification is of 18th of September 2019, whereby it says that the cash replacement agency and the white bank operator, as you can see in the picture, the various banks are transferring the money from one place under the security to the another place. So when these people withdraw the money, 194N is not applicable, but obviously they have to satisfy certain terms and conditions. The terms and conditions prescribed are they have to give a certificate every month certifying that the amount has been withdrawn only for the purpose of depositing into the ATM bank, and they should also provide a reconciliation statement date-wise amount indicating a transaction on this particular date that amount was withdrawn, and on this particular date the amount has been deposited with the ATM in the particular bank. Then the next notification that is related to the withdrawal by the APMC market, that is Agriculture Produce Market Committee. So when these people withdraw for the agent or the trader, they and basically the end users for the giving to the farmer who may not be necessarily having an access to the money, digital form of money. So in this case, the conditions has been put upon them that they should give an advance notice. They should provide a permanent account number, and at the same time at the end of the month, the withdrawal, they have to give a certificate indicating and giving a detail that this payment has been made to so and so farmer for so and so transaction. Then the next notification is on the 15th of October. So here whenever any person withdraw the money, for example the franchisee agent of the authorized dealer or the money changer, because whenever a person pays in dollar or any other foreign currency and they want the Indian currency, so these people help for the purchase of the foreign currency from the foreign tourist and in process give them the Indian currency. So this particular people who are withdrawing the money to carry out the cash business, they are allowed without a deduction of section 194N. However, The terms and conditions are there as per the notification that they have to give a certificate, and along with the certificate sufficient proof that it has been utilized for the given end purpose only. Now, who must deduct the tax and when? A banking company to which a banking regulation applies. That means all the bank, nationalized, private, they have to deduct the tax whenever the amount is withdrawn from bank. So all the bank. Here I have given an example of State Bank of India, but it is applicable to each and every bank. Or the cooperative society engaged in the banking business, maybe the employee cooperative credit society. So they also are supposed to follow this particular provision and deduct the tax. Or the post office, they are also supposed to deduct the tax whenever the amount is withdrawn above the specified limit from one or more account which is maintained by the recipient with that particular entity, then the tax has to be deducted as such. Now let us discuss the TDS rates which are applicable. The tax is required to be deducted at the source at 2% whenever the aggregate withdrawal limit crosses rupees 1 crore rupees. Now this section has come from effect from 1st of September 2019. So and it is applicable for the withdrawal for the complete previous year. So the government has come out with the circular on the 30th August 2019 of how to calculate this limit of 1 crore and from how it can be made applicable from the 1st September 2019. We will be looking this in our subsequent slide when we do the calculation of the TDS. Now we have to remember this limit of 1 crore in a specific scenario has been further reduced to rupees 20 lakhs with effect from 1st July 2020. Now this specific scenario is concerned with filing of the return by the SSC during the last 3 previous years preceding the previous year. So how to do that calculation? That also we will come to the subsequent slide. The TDS rate has been provided now in the graded manner that if a particular circumstance apply for the TDS deduction, then the DTS has to be applied in a particular different rate of taxes. And this rate of taxes are 2% if the withdrawal is from 20 lakhs to 1 crore, and it is at the 5% if the withdrawal is for 1 crore and above. Now we have to remember that this is applicable only in the specific scenario. So if the specific scenario is not there, then the old provision of above 1 crore and 2% continues. TDS. Now let us take the computation problem. Now through this problem, we will try to understand the scenario and the act and the provision in detail. Say Mr. A has got 2 accounts with the bank, current account and the saving account. And the details of the cash withdrawals on the various dates from the various account has been given. And now we have to calculate TDS under section 194. Now here we will be considering the TDS for 2019 financial year, 2019-20 as well as financial year 2021 to understand this section 194 and in totality covering even the amendment part. So the law says that you have to count the tax from the previous year withdrawal in the complete previous year. So as per the circular of the 31st August 19, when it gives a clarification, it says that you start the calculation from the 1st April 2019 onwards. So in this particular case, the 1st April 2019 onwards, the first withdrawal was total in amounting to 15 lakhs. Subsequently, the withdrawal was made on 30th of June 19, which take the total to the 70 lakhs. And 31st August 2019, it went up to 90 lakhs. Now the law is applicable from 1st of September. So on the 1st of September to the 30th of September, the withdrawal in this particular case was 10 lakhs in the first saving account. So this 10 lakhs and 90 lakhs plus 10 lakhs is up to 1 crore. No TDS will be deducted. But the subsequent 20 lakhs, the TDS will be deducted on at the rate of the 2%. So the TDS will amount to 40,000. Now all the subsequent transaction, it is applicable. So on 31st January, when he withdraws in total 40 lakhs, on the complete 40 lakhs, 80,000 TDS will be applicable. Now let us come to the second year. In the second year, what has happened? That he is withdrawing, so the fresh limit will be started to be calculated. Now he is withdrawing 15 lakhs. So no TDS is applicable at this moment, it will be nil. So on 15 June again he withdraw, it is 35 lakhs, it is not also applicable. Then he crosses the limit by 10 lakhs. So here the TDS, if the specific circumstance is not applicable, TDS will be deducted at 2%, that will be 20,000 rupees. Now let us take this different scenario, that in this above case, he has not filed one of the return during the last 3 financial year before the due date prescribed under section 139(1). What will be the scenario? Which is applicable from 1st April 2020. So as he withdrawn on and what will be the scenario if he withdraw on 31st of March 20 rupees 15 lakhs from post office? Now as far as the withdrawal of the 15th April is concerned, it is 15 lakhs. The TDS will be nil because it is below 20 lakhs. Now when you withdraw rupees 20 lakhs further, the total comes to 35 lakhs. So out of 35 lakhs, the first 20 lakhs will not be liable for the TDS, but the balance 15 lakhs, which he withdraw, will be liable for TDS at the rate of 2%, and that is 30,000 rupees, because he is committed a default and he came into the specific scenario. If you compare it with the old scenario, it would have been a nil one. Then on 1st July, again he withdraw the money and it crosses 1 crore 10 lakhs. So now what will be the tax calculation? So up to 1 crore it will be 2%. That means on 65 lakhs the TDS will be 1,30,000. And on the balance 10 lakhs at the rate of 5% will comes to 50,000. So total 1,80,000 will have to be deducted by way of a tax. As far as the post office is a different entity, no TDS will be deducted. See, across the entity, the TDS is not combined. The limit is not combined for TDS purpose. What will be the effect in the 21, 22 and 23? Assuming the law remains the same, he will come under the specific scenario and he will be liable for the higher rate of tax with the lower amount of the limit. Correct? Now, next one. Is the TDS under section required to be deducted if Mr. B has given a bearer check in favor of the C for rupees 10 lakhs after he has crossed rupees 1 crore? Now, here the law says that to any person, the account which is maintained by the recipient in that particular bank. So the bearer check holder, Mr. B, is not having an account in the same bank, then the TDS will not be deducted because he is not a customer of that particular bank. Now more such computation question and analysis things are given in the link provided. Thank you very much. But remember one thing, the more you practice from the link provided the question, more you will get the knowledge in the depth and you will move toward the excellency and expertise. Thank you.